What's up, super people? My name is Aaron Oster. I am a #1 best-selling author on Amazon, and today I would like to teach you how you can get a #1 bestseller tag next to your book. This is pretty much a foolproof way how to do it, and I have learned how to do this through a lot of trial and error, and I figured why not teach the rest of you awesome people how to do it too. But before we get into the video, if you can just destroy that like button, click that subscribe button. If you aren't already subscribed, I guess you can just ring that bell. I'm doing that ringing thing because I think that's how bells are rung. I could be wrong, but yeah. So actually, before we get into the video, I'd just like to let all you guys know that I have officially made it. I am famous enough that people are trying to impersonate me and opening up fake accounts claiming to be me. So if you get any messages from people who say they're me, make sure you check the username first. My username on Instagram is Aaron_Oster. You get messages from anyone else claiming to be me, they are not me. I am trying to get verified on Instagram, but I don't know what my chances of doing that are. But I guess only time will tell. So with that said, let's get right into the video. So I guess I should start the video off by explaining a bit about the bestseller rankings on Amazon. Now, I've explained it a bit in other videos, but this video is going to be completely dedicated to getting that bestseller tag and how you can get it. Now, on Amazon, there are a lot of different categories to become a bestseller in. And if you pick your keywords right, and I'll show you all that in a minute, you can basically get a bestseller tag and keep it that way no matter how poor your actual ranking in the Kindle store is. Now you might be asking, like, why do I even want that bestseller tag? I mean, to answer that, first of all, why do you even have to ask? Who doesn't want to see that cool little orange tag next to their book saying they are a #1 bestseller? Secondly, it also adds a little bit of credibility to your book. When people see that you have a bestseller tag, even if you're a bestseller in some obscure, barely read thing, like, #1 bestseller in clockmaking for children. I don't even know if that's a category or not, but I'm just throwing that out there because there's a clock behind me and that's the first thing I saw. So let's get flipped around. I am going to show you basically both the bestseller rank and something called a #1 new release. And I'll explain the difference between both and why you want your books to get into there. So here we go. We're turning around now. Mission accomplished. And here we are on the landing page of Sand Queen, Rise to Omniscience Book 7, coming out September 10th, by the way, in case you want to buy it. And as you can see, right next to that, you can see a little orange tag that says #1 new release in teen and young adult Norse myths and legends. Now, what does that mean? Now, for people who don't know what that means Amazon has categories called the #1 new release categories, and they have something called the #1 bestseller categories. So as you can see right over here on Origin, this has a #1 bestseller in teen and young adult martial arts fiction tag. So the difference between the two is that a #1 new release does not actually have to be #1 in a category. So as you can see right over here, in teen and young adult Norse myths and legends, this book is actually at number 11. So let's click on that right over there. And you can see here are the bestsellers in that category. And if you scroll down, you can see where my books are, right down there. Now, what is a #1 new release? Basically, I don't know what that was. A #1 new release in a category is a category for the first 30 days after your book has been released. So while you don't have to be the bestseller in the category to get this tag, you can get this tag if you are the #1 new release book in the past 30 days in that specific category. Now, as you may have noticed, this book has been in this for more than 30 days, and that is because if you put it up as a pre-order, that doesn't actually count towards your time. So this book is releasing on September 10th, which means that if this book theoretically were to stay as a #1 new release and stayed as the #1 new release for the first 30 days, it would keep that #1 new release tag until, 30 days had passed, whatever 30 days is from September 10th, October 9th or October 8th maybe, I'm not 100% sure. So getting into a #1 new release category can help boost visibility of your book and, again, lend some credibility to your stuff. Now, if we move over to Origin, the third book in my Land of the Elemental series, here you can see it is a #1 bestseller in teen and young adult martial arts fiction. And if you scroll down here, you can see that despite the seller's ranking of 11,505, I am #1 in teen and young adult martial arts fiction. And that is what you want to reach. If you have that little #1 right over there in a category, you will get that orange tag. And here you see we can click on it. And wow, I'm actually competing with myself up here. Maybe I should start diversifying a bit more different categories, because competing with myself isn't ideal. That's a lesson I should probably take more to heart. But now, more for the explanation in how you can get into a #1 bestseller in a category, or at least get your books into a #1 new release. Now, the biggest trick that I have found is to find the most non-competitive categories you can find that still relate to what you're writing about, and get your books in there. Now, if you're going to be a big seller and you know that your books are going to hit, bestsellers rankings in certain, things, then it's more important to try and target it more towards your audience rather than trying so hard for that bestseller or new release tag. But getting that can help with the Amazon algorithm and them recommending your books. So if you can get it, great. If you don't think it's as important, it's not. I mean, this is all up to you. This is all just advice from some random guy on YouTube. So now I'm going to actually go into my own book over here. As you can see, I'm setting up a box set, and I'm going to get into a different video on how to set up box sets and stuff like that. But right over here, I am going to go into continue setup. Now, I haven't really set a whole bunch up with this book, but I have already picked the categories and stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do that right over here. So if you scroll down past the description, right over here, you're going to see keywords and categories. Over here, you can enter up to 7 keywords to target for your audience. That means these are the keywords that are going to be showing up on Amazon as categories. Now, I think you can get up to 10 keywords if you fill them out and send them into Amazon. I've never personally done this myself, but if you guys want me to try and see what happens, you guys let me know down in the comments. So as you can see for this box set, I've picked 7 keywords that sort of fit into the categories of my books and that are the most likely from my experimentation, that I have experimented with from my personal knowledge, that are most likely to get me into a #1 new release or #1 bestseller category on Amazon, and hopefully stick it out there for at least a few days. A few weeks or maybe even months. Now, as you can see down here, this is where you can pick the categories. So I picked 2 categories over here. Is in juvenile fiction, because my books are targeted for audiences, like 12, 13 and up, which makes it easier to get into teen and young adult categories, because teen and young adult is pretty much where I do most of my writing. If you pick just regular fiction, it won't come up as teen and young adult. So if you are catering towards teenagers, you'll want to put at least 1 in the juvenile fiction category. Now, if we're going to go to set categories, because we may as well go in there, you can see that you have fiction, nonfiction, juvenile fiction, and juvenile nonfiction. So for me, right, I click on juvenile fiction, and then they would pull up a whole bunch of different categories. Now, these, along with your keywords, will help Amazon's algorithms pick which categories you will be a part of, right? So I always tend to go for legends, myths, and fables, because it's a less competitive category, And a lot of my books have to do with sort of a lot of fighting. And while Norse mythology doesn't perfectly fit into my books, it does somewhat fit into my books. And the people that enjoy those types of books will generally enjoy this type of thing as well. So again, picking categories, something that is very important that you do. Now for the actual question, how do you know which categories to pick, and how can you make sure that your book ends up in a #1 new release or #1 bestseller category? And the answer is really simple. Experiment. That's all you have to do. You go in there, you enter one set of keywords, you come out, you wait for it to upload on Amazon, and you see, do you have any, are you close to a #1 in a category? Are you in a #1 in a category? And if you're not even close, go back in, change up some keywords, change up your categories, and go back and change it. If you repeat this process enough times, I guarantee you are going to end up in a bestseller or at least a #1 new release in a category. One little thing to mention is that after you've re-uploaded and your book has gone live, the categories won't actually reset until someone has purchased or pre-ordered a copy of your book. So that means if you see it go live and you see these same categories, don't panic. That's normal. Until someone actually purchases a copy, it's not going to change. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you got something out of it. If you like that video, give that, thumbs up button a click, make it turn blue. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, Mibble Art, the cover art recommendation place that I have recommended, will be giving you 15% off or add $15 of value to your cover if you just click the link below, order a cover through them, and say that I recommended you. Also, if you haven't signed up for Audible yet, click on those links down below. Audible will be giving you a free audiobook when you sign up using one of those links. Also, if you haven't bought my books yet, go ahead and do that. Join in the giveaway. Join the Supermage fam. Have an awesome weekend, you guys. Keep being super, and I will see you all next time.